All right, what's up, people? Today, let's look at a simple 1-2 combo. Just a simple jab and straight, and how we practice it from my standpoint, viewing it from 52 blocks training. So I just want to make things clear like I always do. This is my system, my way of training, and this is a good way to get your punches out there as strong and as fast as possible. So, by this point, everybody should have their, what I call the neutral or the squared stance. So think like Muay Thai, Mike Tyson, whatever you want to think about. But let's get into our fighting stance. And the way that I like to practice is very similar to something like a karate. And then they push their punches out like this. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, if you studied, you could tell MMA fighters that practice like that, they eventually get exposed, because turning your wrist like this and practicing your punching like that is a weakness. You leave yourself open. So, like I always like to say, little corrections that I've made to make my style of 52 blocks more proficient. So what I like to do is that very same kind of karate drill. So if anyone out there watching is familiar with karate or have seen that before, you know what I'm talking about. But a simple change to make things more like modern boxing and more what I like to call street legit is like this. So of course your shoulders, your chin is tucked, all that good stuff. We're in our stance, our knees are bent. All of these basics, let's keep mindful of all of these basics. And just like in karate, instead of keeping that fist turned, we're gonna keep our fist straight. Just like this. You're not gonna keep it turned like this. You're gonna keep it like this. And you're gonna chamber. See that? See this hand? This is a chamber, just like in karate, but we're gonna keep it natural. And we're just gonna push out. It's gonna be the same thing on the other side. You're not gonna stay like this, you're not gonna stay like this. You're gonna be like that. So it's the very same concept in karate. But let's keep our hands like this. And it's almost like it's almost exactly like a bowstring. You guys get what I'm saying? You're gonna push back. And that push back with your back muscles, that's gonna push this fist forward. So it's not that this fist and this side of my body is gonna push out forward. It's more like this side of my body is gonna go this way, and this fist blast out forward. And your job is at the end to correct everything so you don't break your fist, if that makes sense. So imagine the bowstring, but not like in karate, where you're gonna hyper exaggerate. Let's keep it here, protect our chin. Let's see how that looks. That's a simple way to practice the 1-2, 1-2. And then, of course, as you get better, you could get fluent with it. You know, you could loosen up, you know. Pull this back. That's a good way to practice combos, basically 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and just keep flowing with it. Another way to practice the individual punches, it's gonna look something like this. I just want to work on my right hand, right? So the very same concept like in karate, you're gonna keep this hand out. And this hand could be gauging distance, you know. So let's say that's my target, right? So imagine that this hand is doing something. It's gonna be doing two things. Gauging distance, like you saw me. I don't wanna overreach and leave myself exposed. Of course, there's always defensive options where you can come back with it. Sure, I'm not talking about that right now. So this offhand is going to be doing two things. It's going to be controlling distance and or engaging in a clinch. One of the two. One of the two. So you can go, or you can go, imagine you're engaging the clinch. That's how you would translate it in real life, but right now this is just a drill. So remember, we're not gonna hyperextend like this, like over exaggerate this. We're gonna keep it here. You're gonna keep this hand up, and you're just gonna go. This hand, gonna come right back. So that's a good way to continue to practice one punch, because in reality, in the streets, you only need a good right hand, a dominant right hand, and this doing one of two things: controlling the distance so that you can punch, and or engaging into a clinch, meaning if the person gets too close, you stop them. So one of two things, that's it, the offhand, and we practice the right hand. Everything should engage, and you should punch. How do we chain punch? One, you know, like let's say we're in a street fight and you want to continue to go. Well, you're going to engage, and you're not going to continue to go back and forth. You're kind of going to stay stuck here. And just like in karate, you're going to chamber, and you go back and forth. So a regular punch would be my waist is here, and I'll go bam, waist. But you want to chain punch one punch together. You're going to stay here. If that makes sense. And you're going to engage your foot. So it's going to go look like this. If that makes sense. So little by little, you're going to be able to throw either one really strong punch or multiple punches. And it's the same thing with the left hand. So one really strong punch, and just like in karate, but we're going to keep it like this, and we're going to chamber, punch, chamber, punch, chamber, punch. That's for the jab. That's how you develop a really strong jab. See this movement? It's going to be an entire body thing. See if that makes sense? It's like those old school karate cats. Same thing. It's just little differences that I like to do to make it more modern. So in karate, they'll do something like this. Same thing. We're going to concentrate on one arm. Concentrating this on the left arm. That makes sense, guys? You're gonna chamber, you're gonna keep punching. You're gonna chamber, keep punching. It's gonna look bang, bang, right? Bam, 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 bam. I'm going in slow-mo, I hope that makes sense. Bam, 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 bam. You know? So it's almost like you're going here, but you're not. You're not gonna stay here. Bam. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that makes sense. So yeah, fun drill to practice.